Three students are discussing experiences in shared housing at university.
Honestly, living in a shared flat has been a bit of an adjustment for me. The biggest issue I've had is definitely the different levels of cleanliness among my flatmates. It's really hard to relax when the common areas, especially the kitchen, are often left messy after someone cooks, and nobody seems to want to clean up.
Yeah, I totally get that, Aria. I had a similar problem last year. My flatmates were super chill, which was great. But chill often meant never doing the dishes. We ended up making a cleaning rota, and even then, it was a constant battle to get everyone to stick to it.
Wow, you guys are making me feel lucky. My current flat is actually pretty good on the cleaning front, which is a huge relief. But we've had a few clashes over noise, especially late at night. Some of my flatmates love to be loud, and it's hard to focus on studies when there's a mini party happening just down the hall.
Oh, the noise issue is real too. I've had to buy noise-canceling headphones just to get any peace and quiet to study. It feels like there's no clear boundary between social time and quiet time, and sometimes I just need a quiet space to concentrate without feeling like I'm being a party pooper.
Noise is definitely the big issue in shared living. We had one flatmate who'd game until 3 a.m. with his headset on, but his shouting would echo through the thin walls. We eventually had a sit-down about it, and things improved a bit, but it really showed how important open communication is from the start.
Open communication is key. I've learned that the hard way. Besides the noise, one thing I found tricky was the shared fridge situation. People would just eat your food, or not label anything, and it led to some awkward conversations. I wish we'd set up some ground rules about groceries and kitchen space right at the beginning.
That's a good point, Matilda. Setting expectations early seems really important. We didn't really have a proper chat about anything before moving in, and I think that's where a lot of the issues come from. I've learned I definitely need to ask about cleaning habits and noise preferences when looking for future flatmates.
Absolutely. A pre-move-in chat about lifestyles would save so much hassle. Also, budgeting for shared utilities and communal items can be tricky. We had a few arguments over who used more electricity or who should replace the toilet paper. It's the small things that add up and cause problems.
Yeah. It's all about finding people who are compatible with your living style, isn't it? If I live in another shared house, I'd probably suggest a flat meeting early on to discuss all these possible problems, from cleaning schedules to quiet hours, and even a food labeling system. It just makes things so much smoother.
Three students are discussing dealing with noisy neighbors in the dorm at university.
Honestly, I'm just so fed up with my neighbors. They're always playing loud music and having people over, even on weeknights when I'm trying to study. It's really hard for me to focus, and I'm not really sleeping well. I just don't know what to do anymore.
That sounds rough, Charlotte. Have you tried talking to them directly? Sometimes just knocking on the door and having a quick chat can really help. I had a similar problem last semester, and just asking them to turn it down at certain times actually worked for a bit.
Yeah, I agree talking to them is the first thing to try, but it doesn't always work, especially if they're not very thoughtful. If that doesn't work, you could always talk to your resident advisor, your RA. They're there to help with these kinds of things and can make sure people follow the dorm quiet hours. That's usually the official next step.
Yeah, going to the RA is an option. But from my experience, they can be kind of hit or miss. Some RAs are really good about it, but others just send a general email and nothing happens. Personally, I've just found it easier to get good noise-cancelling headphones or just go to the library when it gets too loud. It's not perfect, but it does give you some control back.
I appreciate the suggestions, George. But why should I have to leave my own room or wear headphones all the time? This is my living space, and I pay good money for it. It just feels unfair that I'm the one who has to change just because my neighbors are being inconsiderate. It's really tiring and making it hard to feel relaxed here.
Charlotte's right. It's not fair to expect you to keep moving. Most dorms have very clear quiet hours, especially after 10 p.m. If the RA isn't helping, you might need to take it higher, like to the housing office or the resident director. There are usually official ways to complain about ongoing problems, and that's when they might actually do something.
That's a good point about the official procedures. I guess if it's affecting your studies and well-being this much, it's worth trying the official route. As a last resort, if nothing else works, have you thought about asking for a room change? It's a pain, but sometimes a fresh start is the only way to get some peace.
A room change feels pretty drastic. But I might have to think about it if nothing else gets better. I really wish they would enforce the rules more. Or maybe have clearer consequences. Maybe if a few of us on the floor reported them, it would be taken more seriously.
Definitely. A group complaint often matters more than just one person complaining. Living in a dorm should be a good place for learning, not a constant source of stress. It's important to stand up for your right to a peaceful living space, especially with exams coming up.
Three students are discussing using the campus gym at university.
I'm finding it harder and harder to book a slot at the gym. It's always so packed. They really need to make it bigger or get a better booking system. I tried to book a treadmill last week and it was completely booked for the whole week. It's really annoying when you're trying to work out regularly. And I've also noticed a lot of the equipment is old, which makes it even less fun.
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. The booking system is definitely a problem. But I also think a lot of people aren't canceling their slots when they can't make it, so it looks even busier than it is. Maybe a small fee if you don't show up would make people cancel, so other people could use the slots. Also, I think the peak hours are too long. Maybe they could open earlier and close later to spread things out.
I agree. The booking system's a nightmare. But I also think the gym could be better at offering different classes. I'm so tired of the same aerobics and spin classes. They should ask students what new workouts they're interested in. More yoga or even dance classes, for example. And maybe some classes for different fitness levels. Not everyone's an athlete.
That's a good point about the classes. I've also noticed they don't really look after the equipment. Half the treadmills seem to be broken all the time. They need to spend money on fixing things. And yeah, more classes would definitely get more people interested and make it more fun. Maybe even some beginner workshops.
Exactly! And what about the changing rooms? They're often dirty and crowded, especially after classes. More showers and cleaning would really help. Plus, maybe some lockers with phone chargers built in. That would be so convenient. It's the little things that make the gym better.
Oh, the changing rooms are the worst. I've actually started changing at home to avoid them. But going back to classes, maybe the university could work with local fitness instructors to offer workshops or qualifications. It would give students more options and maybe even some internships. We could create a university fitness community.
I like the idea of working with local instructors. They could bring in new ideas. And thinking about the booking system, maybe they could have a system where students who use the gym a lot get to book first. It would reward people who go regularly and make other people want to go more. Just a thought.
A system like that could work, but it might make people who only go sometimes feel left out. Maybe a point system where you get points for going and lose points for not showing up. Then you could use those points to book popular slots. It's just that right now it's all about who can click the fastest, not who actually goes regularly. Something's gotta change.
Those are all great ideas. I think the main thing is for the university to actually listen to us. They should do surveys and hold meetings to get our feedback. If they show they want to make the gym better, I think everyone would understand and be willing to help. We just want a good place to work out.
Three students are discussing part-time work on campus at university.
Hey guys, I was just thinking about how helpful it is to have part-time jobs right here on campus. It really saves a lot of travel time compared to working somewhere else. Plus, it feels like the university gets that we're students first, so they're usually pretty flexible with hours around our classes. It's a big help for managing our studies.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, George. The convenience is definitely a big plus. I've heard there are a lot of different kinds of jobs, too, like working in the library, in the student cafeteria, or even as a peer tutor. I'm wondering if those types of jobs offer better pay or more useful experience than, say, a retail job downtown.
From what I've seen, it really depends on the department, Matilda, but many campus jobs do offer useful experience, especially if you're looking for something that connects with your major. I know a friend who got a job with IT support, and it's been great for their tech skills. Plus, it's a fantastic way to meet new people from different parts of the uni that you wouldn't normally interact with.
That's a good point about the experience, Will. But sometimes, even with the flexibility, it can be hard to balance the work. I'm working at the campus bookshop, and during busy times, it can be pretty tough. It just means you have to be super organized with your studies, which isn't always easy when deadlines are piling up.
You're right about the workload, George. It definitely takes discipline. I've also heard that some of the more flexible or admin jobs can be pretty competitive to get into because everyone wants those steady, predictable hours. It's not just about finding a job, but finding one that truly fits your schedule without adding too much stress.
That's a good point, Will. It sounds like managing your time well and getting through the application process are big hurdles. Maybe it's about being really choosy about the job and how many hours you commit to. I heard some departments offer very flexible, kind of one-off work, like helping with events, which might be less demanding than a regular weekly schedule.
You're right about the competition, Matilda. I actually had to apply to a few different places before I got my current job at the bookshop. It felt like applying for a real job, with interviews and everything. But once you're in, it's usually pretty secure, and the campus environment is generally much more understanding than an employer from outside.
That's good to know, George. So, even with the challenges of balancing studies and the application process, do you both feel like the benefits of working on campus really outweigh the drawbacks? I'm still trying to decide if it's the right move for me, especially with my course load this semester.
For me, absolutely. Being financially independent is a huge plus, and as I mentioned, the skills I'm gaining are directly useful for my career path. While it adds to the schedule, the reduced commute and supportive environment make it totally worth it. It's helped me feel more connected to the university community too.